When I was young, that was a grocer's shop, and next to it was my husband's grandfather had a saddlery shop there. That was a saddler shop, but people know about that.
And what's this building with the
Oh,
on the
that
side?
was
What are we looking at half
the
of
King's Arms, wasn't it? And I think that was written around the light. I don't know whether it still is written there on the top. I haven't taken notice of these things. Yeah.
Should we go to another one?
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, that's down the shippings, as they call it. Looking at the market, isn't it? As a kid, I used to sit with the family on the wall and watch the sheep show going on. That's the Glebe Cottage.
So there was a show. How often did that take
Chumley
place?
Fair. Chumley Fair week.
Annual?
That was the only time that they had the sheep down there.
Ah, right. Okay.
The other side on the green, they had the cattle. So it was sort of all around the churchyard, you know. Now they fill it with market stalls. People come into Chumley Fair Market with various things, you know, handicrafts and all sorts. Food, flowers, plants, everything. You know, and the barometers, the weather glasses they used to call them. The barometer used to tell you about the pressure, and you know, anybody with a bit of intelligence could very well work it out, you know.
And then you'd make a choice on the basis of
it
what was
looks
coming,
as though it's going to be a dry week. I like the look of the weather. I like the way where the moon is and all that kind of stuff, you know. And then they'd say, right. But my husband, Rich, said his grandfather always used to cut his grass for hay on Midsummer's Day. Whatever the weather, I said, well, he couldn't cut it when it was pouring with rain. Well, no, he said, but I only seem to remember that he always cut it. Well, sometimes you win and sometimes you don't, you know.
And was there much chat, you know, between farmers about what they were about to do?
They used to help each other a lot, you know. They used to go to each. I mean, we had the blacksmith was one of our neighbours. He had a few acres, but his work was his smithy, you know, his blacksmith shop. He used to shoe the horses. They were, I mean, the blacksmiths in those days, they were farriers as well as a modern blacksmith that could make iron gates or whatever you wanted. But they did it all, and they made machinery as well. They did everything, you know. And we used to help him as one or two other neighbours, and he would go and help us. And then and neighbours would help each other. If they weren't busy that day, haymaking, farmer so-and-so's, let's go and give him a hand, you know. And that happened a lot. It was nice how they helped each other. Yeah.
Father came when there was 7 people on the farm.
There was Grandad,
George.
There was Uncle George, then Father's brother, Father, 2 full-time workmen, and Albert Bendon was here 3 days a week.
Yeah.
So we had 5.5 labour units.
Yeah. All year round.
Yeah.
And then casual people come in for the
harvest.
Yeah, extra.
Yeah.
I've been, you know, they haven't got the technology that we've got, but probably a lot less stock than I've got, and I'm here a lot of days on my own, sort of thing. But that's technology, and
that's where back to mechanical is almost a devil in disguise, because it's increased productivity, forced the prices down. So now industry is forced. Farmers have got to keep up with the latest technology to maintain their pricing. Because if they don't keep up, they're suddenly not economic. Economies of scale has taken over. In a way, machinery has destroyed the old ways of farming.
So does that mean they've always got debts to pay off the machinery that
it's always
ongoing.
The farmers now have more money borrowed than they've ever known. When I started selling machinery 35, 40 years, the people pay for it. But now everything's on the... Nobody buys, it's all finance, it's all... But they have to do that to stay in the industry. And interest rates are low, so at the moment it's working. So...
But even when I left school, I know there was a big pile of dung in the yard. One of the first days after I left school, I spent a day and I spread that whole load of muck with a tractor and a loader and a tractor and a much spreader. And I remember Father saying, he said that was a week's work for 2 days men. For two men to clear that, and then it would only have been put out in heaps in the field.
It would have been spread.
They'd still have to go up again and throw it around. So I said, you know, I thought I'd done quite well, you know.
Yeah.
But I had quite a busy day.
But then
With helping with the horse and cart, loading it on. You know.
And again, now the
But
contract.
it wasn't a popular job either.
Yeah. So that's
Well,
where
everything was labelled, wasn't it? They didn't know any different. Everything had been hard work, wasn't it? I guess there was, you know.
But you've had to increase, you know, how much. I mean, 100 cows 30 years ago was a big herd.
Yeah.
Now it's.
Yeah.
It's a part-time job. Isn't it?
Huge changes. I mean, when we were starting off, there was no national curriculum. So you were really more left to your own devices about what you were going to teach. The expectations that you would teach certain subjects, and if you're in a church school like the Clinton School Merton, you had to teach RE, and you had to have assemblies that were collective worship, not assemblies as we have here. But the curriculum was really up to you. It wasn't told. You weren't told how many hours you had to spend on English or how many hours on maths. And I just remember you could do a project, as we used to call them, on anything you wanted to. And I was just reminiscing the other day with somebody who taught as long as me, and I was saying, "Cool, do you remember the days you say, oh, let's do a project on feet," and then you'd have like little spider diagrams thinking, I'll do that in writing, I'll do that in maths, and that sort of thing happened. Whereas you couldn't do that nowadays. It has to be all tied into the national curriculum.
And when did the national curriculum come in?
80s, I think.
Okay.
Late 80s. Yeah. Late 80s, yeah. So then it changed it a lot. You know, it's very subject-based then, linking more to secondary school. I think the thing I always remember, because being a teacher, was we were told we were going to be involved in the new build, you know. We'll have your input. They always say that, don't they? And we walked into the classroom, and I remember saying to Richard Sampson, who was the head at the time, Richard, look at the sinks. Look what they've done. They have got a sink with no draining board. And there were silly things like that, you know, so if you put anything like paint there, they're just flooding the tops. And there were other things we were going, where was the input? We were told we could have it and things didn't work. And I think it must have been the year of that really bad storm, and the tiles flew off the roof at Chulmleigh. It had only just gone up. And I remember Richard Sampson saying, right, get all the children tight back into the middle of the school because the tiles were hitting the windows. And that caused a problem. We had to get the roof seen straight away.
That was 87, wasn't it?
I think that's the year, yeah. I can visualise. Yeah, and we were worried about parents coming to pick their children up because there were tiles flying off of them.
Yes, because we've got photographs where James has clearly, you know, gone up high and taken some great photos of it in development.
I think we were closed for 3 days or something. I think so that we could pack up and move up there.
Okay.
The authority gave us lots of new furniture and stuff like that, but you could still decide what you were going to take up and.
And then what? So the small school, as it was, a small school, became.
The old Chulmleigh Primary.
Chulmleigh.
I think it was reverted back to the church because it was a church.
It was a rectory, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a rectory, so it's become a rectory now. But it wasn't a church school. It was just a county primary school. Yeah.
I'm interested in the sort of curriculum change that you mentioned. You know, what stayed the same and what's changed really between.
I think if you go back to sort of the Clinton and Chulmleigh old school time, I just remember there you could just go off and do what you wanted to do. For instance, you know, like going off for a walk. I would say there were 2 teachers at the younger end. There was myself and another teacher, and we used to say, "Oh, it's a nice sunny day, and we'll go down Rock Hill for a walk." And we used to say to the head, "Right, we're off down Rock Hill with the children for the afternoon. Is that all right?" "Yeah, off you go." "What, another walk?" "Yes, we did another walk." We just to take the children off in the woods, and that's when Robin would appear saying, "Are you going down the woods again?" "Yeah." Out comes the camera and off we'd go. And we'd head down to the stream. Health and safety wasn't an issue. We didn't let them in the river. We used to walk along the river, then back up the hill again, and that was the afternoon gone. And the children thought it was lovely.